Hola, welcome to the today's session. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening, Miss. Can hear now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss, are we getting this, like presentation? Either we have to refer the book.
You can refer book also. I can send this presentation.
Right.
I will send to your campus. Then they
No
will
problem.
share this presentation to your groups. Okay.
Okay, Miss. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, these days we discussed under the Unit 3, education in various contexts. Under that topic, we discussed the introduction, unit objectives, education and modernization, education and political philosophy, naturalism in education. Uh, we discussed last week idealism in education, naturalism in education, as well as the idealism in education we discussed last week. Today I am going to discuss the new topic, that is pragmatism in education. Have you heard this new term, pragmatism? Have you heard this term? Have you heard this term before? Pragmatism in education. Okay, I will explain. I think you will be able to see my screen.
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Read this slide. Pragmatism. Philosophy of pragmatism is mainly an American concept which come into prominence after 1850. Okay.
Miss, sorry for disturbing. Miss, we can see still that the lineup of the topics. We can't see the slide yet. What you're reading now?
Okay, wait a minute. Now, can you see the second slide? Philosophy of pragmatism.
I can't. I don't know whether that is a problem in my end. How about Tarang? I think she's there. No?
No, I can't not make it.
All right, fine. Then it's not move, I guess.
But I share my screen. I think it will cause our poor network connection in my area. We will wait for that.
Okay.
Okay, pragmatism. Have you heard this term before? Pragmatism? Have you heard that word?
Not actually, ma'am.
Okay, I will I will explain what is pragmatism in education. Um, Philosophy of pragmatism is mainly an American concept. Okay, the pragmatism is mainly an American concept. It came from the Western philosophy, which come into prominence after 1850. Okay, the word pragmatism is derived from a Greek word pragma, which means to do or to make and to accomplish. Okay, what's the Greek word? Uh, what's the Greek word derived from the pragmatism?
Pragma.
Pragma. What's the meaning of that?
To do or to make.
Yes, to do or to make and to accomplish. Now, can you see my screen?
Actually, not yet,
Not
miss.
yet.
Not yet. Okay, we will wait because there is a poor internet connection in my area. Sometimes it's the cause for that. Uh, Pragmatism, also known as practical philosophy. Okay, pragmatism, also known as the practical philosophy. Um, there were various philosophers or important persons. They built this pragmatism. They are C.B. Pierce, William James, John Dewey, Kilpatrick. Okay, can you tell me the names of the people who helped to build the pragmatism concept?
William James.
William James, John Dewey, okay, Kilpatrick. Yes, Kilpatrick. So, pragmatism is a philosophical approach that emphasize the practical consequences and outcomes of beliefs, theories, and actions. Okay, so this pragmatism philosophical approach emphasize what are the things pragmatism approach emphasize? Practical consequence, outcomes of beliefs, theories, and actions. It emerged in the late 19th century in the United States. Late 19th century, I earlier mentioned after 1850. It emerged in the United States with influential thinkers such as William James, John Dewey, Kilpatrick, likewise. At its core, pragmatism rejects the idea that truth and meaning are fixed and unchanging. It suggests that the validity of an idea or belief should be determined by its practical effects and usefulness in addressing problems and achieving desired outcomes. Uh, the people who are built this pragmatism concept argue that theories and concepts should be judged based on their practical consequences rather than their abstract or metaphysical merits. Pragmatism emphasizes the importance of experimentation, experience, and observation in shaping beliefs and theories. It values the practical application of ideas and encourages individuals to test hypotheses and adjust their beliefs based on the results of their test. Uh, According to pragmatist, the pragmatist mean the people who build the pragmatism concept. Knowledge is a process. They mention knowledge is a process that evolve over time through the interaction between humans and their environment. Pragmatism also emphasizes the interconnectedness of thought and action. It rejects the separation of theory and practice, arguing that they are intervene and should inform one another. Pragmatists often advocate for an active engagement with the world, promoting problem solving, democratic participation, and social reform. Overall, pragmatism offers a flexible and practical approach to knowledge, truth, and action, focusing on the consequences and effectiveness of ideas and beliefs in practical context. It has had a significant influence not only in philosophy but also in fields such as education, psychology, and social and political theory. There are a lot of definitions. There are a lot of definitions for pragmatism concept. So I select Gomez B. Fred. Gomez B. Fred, who presented his ideas on pragmatism concept. Okay, now I am going to explain the definition for pragmatism concept. Okay, pragmatism offers us a theory of meaning, a theory of truth of knowledge, and a theory of reality. Okay, so there are three important words. It's very essential to build this pragmatism concept. Those are meaning, truth of knowledge, and the reality. Okay, the combination of three words help to build the best definition for pragmatism concept. So this definition presented by Gomez B.Ed. Can you see my screen now?
Actually, not yet, miss.
Oh,
Can you cancel the share again? And if you can, please try, ma'am. Then sometimes it
okay,
may be
okay,
working. Yeah.
okay. I will try. Hmm. Can you see now?
I think its definition. Yes, ma'am. Now I can see. Can
Okay.
see means we can see the slides. You can
Okay,
choose one slide.
okay, I will continue the lecture. Okay, from the beginning of our lecture, this is the slide 1 and this is the slide 2. You can read it. I discussed earlier the philosophy of pragmatism is mainly an American concept which come into prominence after 1850, late 19th century, that means late 19th century. The word pragmatism is derived from a Greek word that is pragma, which means to do, to make, and to accomplish. There are three meanings for that word. Pragmatism, also known as practical philosophy, exponents of pragmatism, Fears, William James, John Dewey, Kilpatrick. Okay, now we are in the third slide, that is the definition slide. According to Gomez B.Ed, he he presented his ideas of on the pragmatism concept, and here's the definition. Pragmatism offers us a theory of meaning, a theory of truth, of knowledge, a theory of truth of knowledge, and a theory of reality. Okay, now we go to the next slide. There are three forms of pragmatism. How many forms are there in pragmatism concept?
There are three.
Three. What are they?
Humanistic pragmatism, experimental pragmatism, and biological.
Okay. Humanistic pragmatism, experimental pragmatism, and the biological pragmatisms. Those are the three forms of pragmatism. We will briefly discuss what are they. Here's the description for the humanistic pragmatism. Those things or principles are true, which satisfy the needs, requirement, aspirations, and objectives of human beings, and cater the welfare of mankind. Okay, it cater this humanistic pragmatism cater the welfare of human beings and the welfare of mankind. Humanistic pragmatism combines elements of humanism and pragmatism, integrating their key principles and ideas. It is an approach that emphasizes both the human experiences and the practical consequence of beliefs and actions. Humanism in the context refer to a perspective that places value on human beings, their dignity, worth, and potentials. It emphasized the importance of individual autonomy, personal growth, and the fulfillment of human needs. Humanistic thinkers focus on the subjective experience of individuals, including their emotions, values, and personal development. Pragmatism, as described earlier, emphasized the practical consequence and outcomes of beliefs and action. It rejects fixed and rigid theories, prioritizing the effectiveness and usefulness of ideas in addressing real world problems. Pragmatism value experimentation. They value experimentation, observation, adaptation in the pursuit of knowledge and improvement of the human conditions. Humanistic pragmatism combines these two perspectives by recognizing significance of human values, needs, experience, while also emphasizing the practical applications and consequence of ideas. It seeks to bridge the gap between theory and practice by valuing the subjective aspects of human existence, while also considering the practical effectiveness of beliefs and action. In humanistic pragmatism, the focus is on the individual's personal development. That is important. It's focus on the individual personal development, well-being, self-actualization, as well as the impact of their beliefs and actions on society. It encourages individuals to engage with the world actively, reflective on their experiences, and using their knowledge to bring about positive change. Overall, humanistic pragmatism offers a holistic approach that considers both the human experience and the practical implications of beliefs and actions. It combines the emphasis on individual values, growth from humanism, with the practical problem solving and adaptation of pragmatism. This integrated approach seeks to promote personal fulfillment and social progress by aligning individual aspirations with practical effectiveness. Okay, now the next form of pragmatism, that is biological pragmatism. Okay, Taranga, can you read that slide?
Yeah. Biological pragmatism. Power or capacity of human being is valuable and important, which enables him to adjust with the environment or which makes him able to change his environment according to his needs and requirements.
Yes. Biological pragmatism means the power or capacity of human being is valuable and important, which enables him to adjust with the environment, which makes him able to change his environment according to his needs and requirement. Okay. Biological pragmatism is an approach that combines the biological perspectives with the practical principles of pragmatism. It seeks to integrate biological knowledge and the understanding with the uh, practical application and outcomes of beliefs and actions. Biological pragmatism recognizes the importance of biology in shaping human behavior, cognition, and experience. It acknowledges that biological factors such as genetics uh, and evolutionary process play a significant role in influencing human characteristics and actions. This perspective emphasizes that comprehensive understanding of human behavior and thought should consider biological factors alongside social, cultural, and environmental influences. At the same time, biological pragmatism maintains the core pragmatist principles of focusing on the practical consequences and outcomes of beliefs and action. It emphasizes the need to evaluate ideas and theories based on their effectiveness and utility in addressing real world problems. This approach encouraged individuals to apply biological knowledge in practical ways, such as developing interventions or policies that can improve human well-being and address social challenges. Biological pragmatism also recognizes the dynamic nature of biology and its interaction with the environment. It acknowledges the biological process and systems are subject to change and adaptation over time. Therefore, it promotes a flexible, adaptive approach to knowledge, where theories and beliefs can be modified or refined based on the new empirical evidence and practical outcomes. Overall, biological pragmatism seeks to integrate biological understanding with practical problem solving and the pursuit of positive outcomes. It acknowledges the importance of biology in shaping human behavior and cognition, while also emphasizing the practical application and consequence of biological knowledge. By combining these perspectives, biological pragmatism aims to contribute to development of effective and beneficial interventions and policies that enhance human well-being and address social challenges. The third form of pragmatism is the experimental pragmatism. Okay, according to this ideology, that thing or principle uh, is true, which can be verified as a uh, true by experimental true by experiment. Sorry. Okay. So we discussed the three forms of pragmatism. The third form of pragmatism is the experimental pragmatism. Experiment pragmatism refers to an approach that combines the principles of experimentation with the practical aspect of pragmatism. It emphasizes the importance of uh, conducting experiment as means of testing ideas, theories, beliefs in order to evaluate their practical effectiveness and consequence. Experiment pragmatism recognizes that theories and beliefs should be subjected to empirical testing to determine their validity and utility. It emphasized the value of experimentation as a method to gather evidence, observe outcomes, and make informed decisions based on practical results. This approach encourages individuals to engage in active experimentation and to base their beliefs and action on the outcomes of these experiments. Experiment pragmatism aligns with the broader pragmatic principle of valuing practical consequences over abstract or metaphysical merits. It emphasizes the need to evaluate theories and beliefs based on their practical effectiveness in addressing real-world problems or achieving desired outcome. By conducting experiment, individuals can gather data and evidence that inform their understanding and guide their actions, allowing for continuous refinement and adaptation of ideas. This approach also acknowledges the uh, uh, dynamic nature of knowledge and problem solving. Experiment pragmatism recognizes that experimentation can lead to new insight and the modification of existing beliefs. It promotes a flexible and adaptive mindset where individuals are open to adjusting their theories or approaches based on the results of their experiment. Overall, experiment pragmatism encourage individuals to actively engage in experimentation as a means to evaluate theories, uh, beliefs, and actions. It emphasizes the it's emphasize the importance of empirical evidence and practical outcomes in informing decision making and problem solving. By conducting experiments and learning from the results, individuals can refine their understanding, develop more effective strategies, and contribute to positive change in various domains. Um, Here's the slide showing principles of pragmatism. There are several, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 principles of pragmatism. First one is the experience is the central idea in pragmatism. Second one, there are no absolute values of life. Third one, actions is real and ideas are tools. Fourth one, Man is an active being. Fifth one, man has the ability to solve his problems. Utilitarian aspect is supreme. Past has little value. Present and future are more important. Those are the principles of pragmatism. Mm, okay, the first one is the experience, is the central idea in pragmatism. I will discuss that point. In pragmatism, the central idea is that experience holds a central and foundational role in shaping our understanding of the world and guiding our actions. Experience is considered the primary source of knowledge and meaning, and it serves as the touchstone for evaluating the truth and effectiveness of ideas and beliefs. Pragmatists argue that our understanding of the world is derived from our direct experiences and interactions with it. These experiences provide the raw materials from which we form concepts, theories, and beliefs. By engaging with the world and actively participating in it, we gain insight and learn valuable lessons that inform our understanding of reality. The emphasis on experience in pragmatism is closely tied to the practical consequence of beliefs and action. Pragmatists assert that the value and validity of an idea or beliefs are determined by its practical effectiveness in addressing problems and achieving desired outcome. The real world consequence of our actions and decisions serve as the ultimate test of their truth and utility. Pragmatism also recognizes that experience are not isolated occurrence, but rather ongoing and evolving process. Our experiences are influenced by various factors, including social, cultural, environmental context. Pragmatists advocate for an active engagement with the world, encouraging individuals to continually reflect on their experiences and adapt their beliefs and actions based on new insights and changing circumstances. By placing experience at the center of their philosophy, pragmatists seek to bridge the gap between theory and practice. They argue that ideas and theories should be grounded in concrete experience and should be continuously tested and refined based on the outcomes of practical engagement. This focus on experience as the foundation of knowledge and action distinguishes pragmatism as a philosophy that emphasizes the practical and lived aspect of human existence. Um, then the second one, that is, there are no absolute values of life. Okay, I will explain that topic or that point also. Um, the idea that there are no absolute values of life is a philosophical perspective often associated with relativism. It suggests that values and moral judgment are not fixed or universally true, but are instead uh, subjectives on individual perspectives, cultural norms, and personal experiences. According to this viewpoint, values are not inherent in the fabric of the universe or dictated by divine authority. Instead, they are constructed by human beings and shaped by various factors such as cultural, historical, and social context. What is considered valuable or meaningful can vary across different individuals, societies, and historical periods. The absence of absolute values implies that there is no single set of moral principles or ethical guidelines that apply universally. Instead, ethical judgment are seen as relative and context dependent. This perspective acknowledges the diversity of human experiences and perspective, and it encourages individuals to engage in critical reflection and dialogue to negotiate and navigate ethical issues. The rejection of absolute values does not necessarily lead to moral relativism, where an value or action is deemed equally valid. It simply highlights the recognition that values and subject to ongoing examination. This perspective encourages individuals to take responsibility for their own moral choices and to engage in ethical decision making based on careful consideration of the consequences, context, and perspectives involved. Overall, the notion that there are no absolute value of life challenges the idea of fixed and universally applicable moral principles. They are moral principles. It emphasizes the subjective and context dependent nature of values, highlighting the importance of critical reflection, dialogue, and ethical deliberation in navigating complex moral issues. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 principles in pragmatism. Now I explain two of them. The rest, there are 6 points. Now I give your individual work. Um, there are how many participants are there? Okay, there are Rausana, Taranga, and Tarani Manohari. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I give the principles, two principles for each member, each participant. Rausana, action is real and ideas are tools, and man is an active being. Okay, then Taranga, you have to find the details regarding, wait a minute. Man has the ability to solve his problem. Utilitarian aspect is supreme. Tharani, there are 2
Yeah,
points. Past has little value. Present and future are more important. Okay,
ma'am.
now time is 8:25. I give you 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Mm, okay, you have to find out the details regarding of these points, and you have to present your ideas. Those are very little bit easy. So do it very well. Okay, now time start and do your work individually. Okay, now time's up. Um, Please present your ideas regarding the given task, principle of pragmatism. Please read the points, 2 points, and explain. That's enough. Are there anyone? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, present your ideas.
Ma'am, I got last two principles. That the first one is past has little value. According to this ideology, ma'am, they have considered past has it has dead and gone. That means the people does not have to stick in the past. They have to forget that past and they have to move to their future. That's a basic idea of it I have taken.
Okay.
And if I move to my next one, its present and future are more important. According to this, they have basically said that humans should not stick on their past. So, according to that, each individual has to solve their problems of their present and their future life, and it means present and the immediate future are more greater than their past.
Okay, very good explanation. Uh, are you Tarani?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Taranga, can you
Yeah, ma'am.
explain your ideas? Yes.
Yes. So my first one I'm going to explain is man has the ability to solve his problems. Here, like if the characteristics we talk about pragmatism, if you take like pragmatism is a philosophical approach. We talk like I'm just taking it from your notes that emphasize practicalities, action, and problem solving. So it comes as a characteristic of pragmatism as well. The principle that I have mentioned, man has the ability to solve his problems. It asserts that the truth of an idea or belief should be measured by its practical consequences and utility in solving real life problems. When applied to the concept of man's ability to solve the real life problems, we can think in different areas. So one is concept we can get as practicality. So it recognizes that human problems exist in real world and need to be addressed with practical approaches that yield results. So it's like you always use the experience and the practical situation, the real life situations, the math. And second one, I think like empirical inquiry, like again, it's practical inquiry experience. It suggests that the man should gather information, evaluate evidence, and test different strategies to determine and solve their practical problems. Those two, how do you say, there's two ideas like emphasize the one principle which I'm going to explain, man has the ability to solve his problem. Then the next one is utilization expert is supreme, which is in practical is in real. In simple words is practical experience is the best. So if there's a situation or any problem, if the individual want to achieve, they have the practical experience and find the solution for that. So that's the very basic we can get. And if you want to say more, like utilitarian is a moral theory that expect the right action is the one that maximize overall happiness or utility of the greatest number of people. So practical experience is what give the most best solution for everyone. That's it from me.
Okay, good explanations, Taranga. How about Rausana? Rausana, are you there?
Yes, miss.
Okay, please present your ideas.
No, ma'am. I think you're talking about the Rausana. No, I think she may not
Yes,
in. No, she's not there,
Rosanna,
ma'am.
are you there? Okay, we will check the participant list. Okay, she is not in my participant list. Okay, now we will discuss that. Um, one of the principle of pragmatisms, there are no absolute values of life. And the second principle is the action is real and ideas are tool. The idea that there are no absolute values of life is a philosophical perspective often associated with relativism. It suggests that, mm, wait a minute, I explain first one and second one. I gave Rausana action is real and ideas are tool. And the fourth one is man is an active being. Okay. Action is real and ideas are tools. Uh, 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 that pragmatic perspective, that pragmatic principles that places emphasis on the practical implementation of ideas and the tangible outcomes of actions. It suggests that ideas and theories gain their significance and value through their effective application in the real world. According to this viewpoint, ideas alone are insufficient without corresponding action. Ideas serve as tools or instruments that guide and inform our actions, but their ultimate worth lies in their ability to produce tangible results or solve practical problems. The focus is on the practical consequence and utility of ideas rather than their abstract or theoretical merits. These perspectives align with the pragmatist belief that knowledge and understanding are constantly evolving and refined through active engagement with the world. It emphasizes the sorry for the disturbance. The phrase action is real emphasizes the primacy of concrete and tangible. It suggests that actions have a direct impact on reality and are instrumental in effecting changes. Ideas, on the other hand, are seen as tools that shape and inform our actions, guiding us toward desired outcomes. Overall, action is real and ideas are tools, captures the pragmatic notion that the practical application and effectiveness of ideas are crucial in determining their value. It encourages individuals to focus on taking meaningful actions informed by thoughtful and adaptable ideas to achieve tangible results in the real world. Man is active being. Man is active being mean highlights the fundamental characteristic of human nature that emphasizes engagement, participation in the world. It suggests the humans are not passive observers, but rather active participants who shape and influence their environment through their action. This perspective recognizes that human beings possess the capacity to think, decide, and act upon their intentions and desires. It emphasizes that humans are not merely influenced by external forces, but actively interact with and transform their surroundings. Being an active being implies that humans have the ability to initiate change, make choices, and take responsibility for their actions. It emphasizes the role of human agency in shaping personal and collective outcomes. It acknowledged that individuals have the capacity to pursue goals, express their creativity, and contribute to the development of themselves and society. The concept of man as an active being also aligned with the pragmatic emphasis on practical engagement with the world. It suggests that individuals should actively participate, reflect, and learn from their experiences in order to develop and grow. Overall, man is an active being highlights the proactive and dynamic nature of human existence. It emphasizes the capacity for action, agency, and transformative engagement with the world, reflecting the belief that human beings have the power to shape their own lives and influence the world around them. Okay, the ninth slide. That is the pragmatism in education. There are several points on the pragmatism in education. First one in the education is based on philosophy and science. It emphasizes the experiment and practice. Child is the focal point of all educational activities, and it opposes book learning. Only sociability is emphasized, and it is progressive, dynamic, and changeable ideology. So those are the pragmatism in education. The important points included this slide, and through this slide you can absorb the uh, importance of pragmatism in education. First one is the education based on philosophy and the science. It emphasizes the experiment and practice, and the child is considered as the important focal point for all educational activities. It offers the passive learning. It encouraged to active learning. Only sociability is emphasized, and it's a progressive, dynamic, and changeable ideology. I think you will be able to understand this point, these points. The next slide, I quickly went through pragmatism and aims of education. So aims of educations are not predetermined. Educational aims change according to times, places, and circumstances. Aims of educations are not final and fixed. Education should provide more and more purposeful experience, creation of new values, social adjustment, and harmonious development is essential. So those are the pragmatism and aims of educations. Pragmatism and curriculum. Principle of utility. The school must provide the experience that are useful to child. Through this, by considering the pragmatist ideas on curriculum, they emphasize uh, the importance of the school, because school is the main agent that provide the experience and the transfer the cultural things to children. So the principle of natural interest. It should be based on the natural instance of the interest of the child. There are there are four interest. First one in interest in conversation. Second one in interest in investigation. Third one is interest in construction. Fourth one is interest in creative expression. Principle of graded curriculum. The curriculum should consider the stage of child development. The graded curriculum, they showed mainly the curriculum should consider the stage of child development. Principles of experience based on occupation. Curriculum should attach limited importance to book learning. Besides the subject, the curriculum include purpose, procedure, and socialized activity. Principle of integration. The subjects are treated mode of activities in relation to life situation. Principle of social worth. Curriculum provides socially useful activities. Principle of dynamism. It does not believe the rigidity of the curriculum. It changes according to the needs of pupils and the society. The 14th slide you can see now in the lower classes, pragmatists prescribe an integrated curriculum. All of you know in Sri Lankan setting, there we can see the integrated curriculum in primary sections. The 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Craft, drawing, and music, etc., should be included in their curriculum in order to satisfy their interest in communication, inquiry, construction, and artistic expression. Now we move to the method of teaching. There are various teaching methods, but according to pragmatist, they presented several of method of teaching. First one in learning by doing, and John Dewey expressed that is the principle of pragmatic methodology. The child learns by doing. So John Dewey expressed and emphasized that idea, learning by doing. All learning must come as a byproduct of action and never as something learned directly for its own sake. The pragmatic teacher suggests a few problems, indicate the lines of activity, and allows the child to experiment for himself. The project method. The second teaching method is the project method. The Kilpatrick and the Stevenon expressed that the wholehearted, purposeful activity proceeding a social environment, a problematic act carried to completion in its natural setting. So the project method, it's a direct outcome of pragmatic philosophy. Then pragmatism and discipline. Pragmatism holds that discipline should be social through free, purposeful, and cooperative activities organized in the school that lead to social discipline as well as self-discipline. Such activities create values like interactive self-relations, tolerance, and sympathy. These values help in building the morals and training the character. There is no place for rewards and punishment. Moral growth from democratic living. Students develop a sense of self-control. Now we move to the pragmatism and the teacher. There are basically I mentioned the two main teaching methods. What are they? What are they? Project method, and the other one is the, are you there? Learning by doing. Learning by doing and project method are those methods are emphasized by the pragmatist for education settings. So teacher should be a helper and guide, teacher guide to children learning by doing, not he or she not emphasize the importance of rote learning and the rote learning. She or he should encourage children to learning by doing. So teacher as a helper and guide. The teacher assumed the role of an arranger of of experience, so he is a facilitator or stage setter, and the teacher create a suitable environment for learning. According to Dewey, the teacher is a guide and director. He steers the boat, but the energy that propels it must come from those who are learning. Pragmatism and student. The child is creative and constructive by nature. He is not a passive listener, but an active participant in the educative process. Educators must exploit the activities of children for the teaching and learning process. Unlike the previous conception of education as a bipolar process, the child and the educative process being the two poles, pragmatists think of it as a tripolar process, the immediate society being the third pole. The child needs to be familiar with the environment and Okay, there is a poor internet connection in my area, so I will continue my lecture. I discuss about the pragmatism um, and the student. The child is creative and constructive by nature. He is not a passive listener but an active participant in the educative process. Educators must exploit the activities of children for the teaching and learning process. Unlike the previous conception of education as a bipolar process, the child and the educative process being the two poles, pragmatists think of it as a triploral process, the immediate society being the third pole. The child needs to be familiarized with the life, customs, traditions, norms, values, and behavior of the society. Now we move to the next slide, that is pragmatism and school. The progressive school classroom is one in which students assume more responsibility and initiative for their own learning. They are actively engaged in learning activities such as conducting their own science experiment. Instruction is individualized to accommodate their different interests, needs, and learning rates. Socialization activities such as discussion, dramatics, music, and other group activities are emphasized. The progressive classroom provides more freedom and activity. Fundamental skills are taught more through the discovery method. The merits of pragmatism, their importance of child, emphasis of activity, faith in applied life, infusion of new life in education, social and democratic education, progressive and optimistic attitude, construction of project method. Demerits of pragmatism, no predetermined aims of education, opposition of predetermined ideas and values, opposition of ideal truth, negation of spiritual values, and past condemnation of formal education, difficulty in construction of curriculum, and pragmatism is a method only. Epistemology of pragmatism, that means the ultimate knowledge is the knowledge that works, no spiritual or ultimate value. Axiology of pragmatism mean values are not real existence. Values change according to difference in time and space. Man creates values by modifying environment. The metaphysics of pragmatism, there is no ultimate reality. Reality is not one but many. Reality is ever changing. So the conclusion of today's lecture, under the topic pragmatism, it keeps the children close to their experiences. It has promoted the value of experimentation in educational practice. The project method of learning is the most important contribution of pragmatism to educational